What is going on, everybody? So today we're gonna be going to a customer's house who's just having a terrible time. Their tank is kind of peaked out and the corals are actually starting to regress and things just look awful. And it's just been one thing after another with this aquarium and they've lost coral. We have to get in there and figure out what is going on. I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think could be the problem with this tank. You know, the more people that chime in, the better. And maybe we can get this figured out. But I do have a plan for the tank. But first, we have some fish to deliver. And starting with this house that I'm at right now, where we're gonna be bringing an antheus, which is right here. It just got out of quarantine, and we have, I think, 3 other antheus in the tank. So this will be the last that we add. So we'll have a whole little shoal, little school of antheus in the tank, which will look really nice. So let's go ahead and get this guy acclimated. All right, so we got the fish in acclimated and he's found his little buddies, so they're all kind of being together. There's also a purple antheus over there in the corner. We got to get him some more friends too. But my goal here is to have this tank chock full of different types of antheus. If we can make that happen, I think it would look awesome. But this tank is looking great and you know, still got a ways to go. Ooh, you see that? The springery just went after it. Eventually that fish will get big enough, it'll be able to handle its own, it'll be fine. But they look really pretty in this tank. I want to just make this tank look amazing with a bunch of colorful fish. So far the fish, you know, it'll get acclimated. Once it's with its the rest of the antheus, it'll be fine. Everybody will work out their differences. All right, so I still want to put more antheus in the aquarium, but we're gonna leave here for now, and we got one more job before we go to that problem tank where we have to catch a puffer out of somebody's aquarium. So let's head there now. All right, so here we are at the house, and this will be the fish that we are putting in. It is a random antheus. Beautiful fish. I love antheus. They're like my favorite. Look at that. Just got out of quarantine. Like orange, pink, violets on there. And this is just a juvenile. Wait till it gets bigger. That is a pretty fish. And the fish that we will be taking out today is this puffer, because they have 2 of them, and there's another little one around here somewhere. But this one's just getting too big for the aquarium. I mean, it's not that big of an aquarium, and he's just being kind of, there's a lot of bioload for that fish. And you can see this tank is getting a bit of hair algae. So we're gonna try to catch this guy out today, which I'm gonna entice with some shrimp, and hopefully I can just net him out. But the other fish they have in here are, so you got the 2 puffers, one there, and then the smaller ones back there. See that fish right there? That is a springery dottyback. We got a beautiful mystery wrasse. We got 2 really nice clownfish right there. They just paired up. Got a striped blenny. Oh, 2 striped blennies. And is that everybody? I know there's more somewhere. Oh, masked goby in the back, little guy. And a Banggai cardinal's around here somewhere. Crumbs. There's a decent amount of fish in this aquarium. There's a good amount of fish. We are having a bit of a hair algae issue, which I'm going to address today. We have some snails, but I also have some stuff I'm going to put in the tank to kill that hair algae. Corals look good. Besides that, you can see that mushroom looks good, and the acantins look amazing. But for the most part, everything is pretty smooth. This is a younger tank. It's not very old. I mean, we haven't even hit, I think we're just approaching a 6-month like period. So still relatively young. We haven't hit that year mark, that sweet spot. But everything seems to be coming along. The hair algae is expected, but I got to catch this puffer out of here, and we're gonna have to rehome him. I have a bigger aquarium that I'm gonna put him in. Oh, we also have an orchard dottyback back there too. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, I got a home that I'm gonna put him into, a really nice cylinder tank. The customers are excited about getting him, so no worries. It'll be going to a better home, a bigger home, a little bit more room for him, because this guy's just been kind of eating all the food, and it's not enough to spread around to everybody else. And then that gives us more rooms for fish like this antheus. So hopefully I can catch it. Come on, look at the food. Food's up there, up, 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 up. Got it. Woohoo! Yes, got the puffer. All right. So that was pretty smooth. I'm glad that usually doesn't go like that. The hunger got the best of him, and that worked to my advantage. So we'll bag him up, bring him back to the shop, and put him in quarantine. The other puffer's like, what are you doing to my buddy? What is going on here? It's crazy. So at least we'll have one puffer in here. Oh, I guess the puffer is really interested in those snails. But those turbo snail shells are way too hard for those puffers to break through. So I've never had a problem with the puffers actually being able to get the, hurt the snails in any way, just because turbo snail shells are just extremely hard. All right, we got the cleaner shrimp in, we got the snails in. Next up is the fish. This is a really pretty fish, and it stands out like a lot in this aquarium with that bright pink and all the other colors that are there. So great community fish. I'm really excited to put this in here. So off we go, acclimated and in. Go hide for a bit, of course. I think getting this pufferfish out of here is gonna end up working out. You can see that the tank's got a bit of an algae issue. I think now with that puffer out of there, they're not having to feed as much, because that puffer was just gobbling all the food and all the fish couldn't get anything, so they were having a double feed. And I think that contributed to a lot of these hair algae issues. So I think with that puffer out of here, a less demanding fish in there with a nice color, I think that's the way to go, that's the move. All right, so we're all set here. Now time to move on to the next tank, which is giving me tons of issues, which is why I'm making a video. I'm gonna pack up, head there now, see you there. All right, so here we are, the tank I was telling you guys about. It's been giving us a bit of issues here. You can already tell by looking at it, it's a more mature tank. There's starfish all over the glass. There's an explosion of starfish, but let's take a look. That used to be a whole colony of acans. Beautiful colony of rainbow acans. There's another smaller colony of acans, but it's only got one head left. This one is still alive, and the heads look great on it. Now, this skeleton used to be a Duncan coral. All those were heads right there, and that just died. That's unfortunate. Then we had a bird's nest or a Polypora right here. That's completely dead. That just died recently. And then there was a Monopora right there. There's a Trachea. That's dead. A lot of stuff that's just out of nowhere, just dying. Now there's another Monopora right here that you can see it's encrusting on the rock, but it's still receding pretty bad, and the color's way off. But the water chemistry tests good. And if you look at this anemone, the anemone looks amazing. All the anemones here, and then you have the soft coral, the Paligrandis, and the rock flower anemones look great. This hammer coral is still hanging on. It's not doing great, but it's it's hanging on. And the rock flower anemones, they're growing like crazy and multiplying even. So we've done ICP tests on this tank, and nothing has come back weird. Now we've just had this bloom of these Asterina starfish just all throughout the tank, just everywhere. And oh, the other thing I want to bring up is this whole area right here used to be Zoanthids, and a nice different types of Zoanthids, and they're just completely gone. They started receding back quickly, and they're just completely been wiped out. That whole area used to be Zoanthids. And then if we come over here, it's just like nothing here. There's like no life. And look at that beautiful puffer. And no, it's not the puffer. He's a good boy. He ain't bothering nobody. He's not bothering the coral. There are no fish in this aquarium that would pick on coral. Now, this tank was set up a long time ago, and actually even before me. This is before we had our quarantine shop, so none of the stuff in here was pre-quarantined, and a lot of the stuff came from third-party vendors. So the tank looked good for a while, but I think it was just a matter of time before something kind of became a problem. And for example, if you look at all these starfish in the tank, they are become a serious problem. Now, we've tried harlequin shrimp in this tank, but the problem is there's a Melanoris wrasse in here, and he just devours any type of harlequin shrimp we've tried to put in here. And that fish is like nearly impossible to catch out. But if we come back over here, what else do we have in the tank? And if you look at the back wall there, I mean, the coralline algae growth on the wall, I mean, you could tell this is a mature, well-established aquarium. The plan going forward here is to start over. We're gonna completely start over. We're gonna restart the tank. Something got in here. Now, like I said, this tank was before we had our quarantine shop, and the customer got corals from multiple shops in different areas. So we're not quite sure, so these corals are not our corals, they are not from our shop. They were from a third party. We're not sure what could have gotten in here that could have caused this damage. But my guess is that there's some type of possible LPS eating parasite that got in this aquarium. The water checks out fine. We've done ICP tests. Everything checks out fine. My best guess is that there's some type of parasite that got in this aquarium that's causing this damage. It came in on a coral, and it's probably multiple parasites. And it got in the coral, and it's just kind of gone through and killed a lot of this coral. And that would explain why you have some corals that do really well, like the, anemone, some of the, other soft corals that do really well, and why you would see something like this hammer coral slowly dying and not just, it's still out, it still looks good, so the water chemistry is great, but it'll slowly die off. And I'm really believing, I don't think it's from picking from the fish, I really believe it's some type of contaminant parasite got into this aquarium that we don't know, which I'm pretty sure we'll figure out once we break the tank down. Got in here, and it's just been destroying the LPS corals, because even like this was a newer coral. Look at that. The one head that's not being affected looks great, but it's slowly just kind of receding and deteriorating. And the same thing will end up happening with this one.
And, I created this YouTube page to, have conversations and put, our experiences out there. So I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think could, be the issue in the aquarium? What do you think's going on in the tank? Like I said, the water checks out fine. Everything tests good. This tank used to be absolutely beautiful, and it's just slowly started to deteriorate. But yeah, chime in, please. Now the customer will be breaking down this tank because they have to have their floors redone. So we're breaking down the tank anyways, and I have a feeling once we do that, we'll probably find the culprit. Oh, at least that's my hope.
Do you guys think that these starfish are the culprit? Are we thinking that the starfish are affecting the coral? Do you think the starfish are the reason why the coral are not doing well? Are they eating the coral? I know that's a kind of a controversial topic, but I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on your experience with these starfish. Now I'm under the belief that the starfish are a result of the problem. I don't think that they're the cause of the problem. I think that they show up after there's already an issue, and they're just eating the dead organics. And I don't think that they're the cause. Even still, I take them out just because they're unsightly and we don't want them in the aquarium. But I know it's a hot topic. People don't know whether these eat coral or not. I'm sure there's certain strains that definitely eat coral, but there's only one way to find out. All right, so there we have it. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts of what you think exactly is going on with this aquarium. Future news with this tank. They're having their floors redone, so the tank's got to come down anyway. So we're gonna take this as a chance to completely restart the aquarium. And this tank wasn't solely, we service this tank, but this tank isn't solely our livestock in there. There's been third-party fish and coral in here, so we haven't had full quality control of what's going in here. Moving forward, we will. So we'll be able to know exactly what's going in the tank. We're going to quarantine the corals, quarantine the fish, and that will give us more confidence that the tank will be successful in the long run. But yeah, this is open to some debate. Please let me know what you think. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.